An A.B.C. of Everyday People, Good, Bad, and Indifferent, by G.E. Farrow. Read for LibriVox.org by stepheather. May 24th, 2023, Bangalore, India. A the amiable. Ah, what an amiable party is A. He holds out his hand in a genial way. He is hearty and hale, and he loves a good sail. What a capital friend on a fine summer's day. B the bumptious. Boastful and bumptious bohemian B, he plays on the fiddle most beautifully, but is really so vain that some people complain that his fiddling is nothing but fiddle-dee-dee. C the contented. Cheerful, contented, and smiling is C. A good-natured, pleasant old lady is she, and even her cat, though he isn't too fat, appears to be grinning most amiably. D the doleful. Dear, dear, what a dreadfully dolorous D! The picture of misery surely is he. When he asks for a penny and doesn't get any, his language is not what his language should be. E the energetic. Behold, energetic and eager-eyed E, who has no time to stand upon ceremony. He's all hurry and hustle and scurry and bustle about something or other continually. F the feeble. Fidgety, fretful, and fractious is F, for feeble and fragile and frail is old F. Not a tooth in his head, and now it is said, the old fellow's becoming remarkably deaf. G the generous. This is good-natured and generous G. A kind little fellow, you'll doubtless agree. See him willingly share that extremely large pear. How very surprised pretty Polly must be. H the haughty. Hoity-toity, here's high-minded, haughty Miss H. To be so self-satisfied's naughty, Miss H. With your nose in the air and your insolent stare, I can't think what you'll look like at 40, Miss H. I the industrious. You can't help but admire this industrious I, who's studying hard though there's nobody by. He's so lost in his book, he has no time to look at the ink he has spilt, and it's getting quite dry. J the jolly. This is the jovial, jocular J, who's enjoying at Margate a fine holiday. He makes everyone laugh with his fun and his chaff. You've met somebody like him before, I dare say. K the knavish. I'd knock o'er the knuckles this knavish young K. He's been picking a pocket and now runs away. But policeman X2 has this person in view, and will certainly catch the young rascal some day. L the lively. Lissome and lively is light-footed L, who dances the sailor's hornpipe very well. From morning to night he is merry and bright, is this jolly Jack Tar, one may easily tell. M the meek. Downtrodden, browbeaten, meek little M. This torrent of fault-finding nothing can stem. If her mistress were kinder, no doubt she would find her the best of good servants, a regular gem. N the neighborly. This is good-natured and neighborly N, who over the wall has been talking since 10. To the lady next door, who's perhaps rather poor, she's lending her very best flat iron again. O the obliging. An obliging official is good policeman O. He holds up his hand and the coachman says, "Whoa!" His smile is seraphic when stopping the traffic to let a small lady cross over, you know. P the perky. Perky and proud is particular P. She wouldn't converse with a policeman, not she. But I have heard it said that a soldier in red by her is regarded more favorably. Q the quarrelsome. This is querulous, quarrelsome Q. Nothing will please her, whatever you do, and from morning till night, this or that isn't right, and whatever you tell her, she says isn't true. R the respectable. Proper and highly respectable R. About your appearance most particular. The man with the broom steps aside to make room, and wonders, poor fellow, whoever you are. S the satisfied. In his cooking most highly successful is S, and his smiling face doth satisfaction express. He says very good stew, and so doubtless would you. This person's a chef, as you see by his dress. T the timid. Terribly timid is tremulous T, who appears to be sitting uncomfortably. He looks nervous and ill, and will certainly spill all his tea. He has spilt some already, I see. U the unhappy. Unfortunate and most unwilling is you. The poor little chap's in a terrible stew. When he's had the tooth out, he'll be better, no doubt, and a new tooth will grow where the other one grew. V the Vacant. Utterly vacant and lost is poor V. He's forgotten the date of the wedding, you see. He's forgotten the ring, and in fact, everything. A remarkable kind of a bridegroom is he. W the Willing. Perfectly willing is antique Miss W, though I fear very much that nobody will trouble you. Few are anxious to kiss such an elderly miss. It is sad, but a fact, you poor ancient Miss W. X the Excitable. This is the highly excitable X. The result of the pole, or some land we annex, drives him quite off his head, and I have heard it said that such conduct his wife doth exceedingly vex. Y the Youthful. This is the girlish and youthful Miss Y, who will bestow a sweet smile as she passes you by. To look younger than ever is her constant endeavor, though her age you will probably guess if you try. Z the Zealous Zoologist. This is the zealous zoologist Z, examining an hippopotamus's head. There's no cause for alarm, it can do you no harm, for the creature, of course, is decidedly dead. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Aucassin and Nicolette by Francis William Bourdillon. Read for LibriVox.org by Ike Sherr. What magic halo rings thy head, dream maiden of a minstrel dead? What charm of fairies round thee hovers, that all who listen are thy lovers? What power yet makes our pulses thrill to see thee at thy window sill, and by that dangerous card down sliding, and through the moonlit garden gliding? True maiden art thou in thy dread, true maiden in thy hardihead, true maiden when thy fears half over thou lingerest to try thy lover. And ah, what heart of stone or steel but doth some stir unwonted feel, when to the day new brightness bringing thou standest at the stair-foot singing? Thy slender limbs in boyish dress, thy tones half glee, half tenderness, thou sing'st 'neath the light tale's cover of thy true love to thy true lover. O happy lover, happy maid, together in thy sweet story laid, forgive the hand that here is bearing your old loves for new lovers staring. Yet, Nicolette, why fear'st thou fame? No slander now can touch thy name, nor scandal's self a fault discovers, though each new year thou hast new lovers. Nor Aucassin needst thou to fear these lovers of too late a year, nor dread one jealous pang's revival, no lover now can be thy rival. What flower considers, if its blooms light, haunts of men, or forest glooms? What care ye through the world discovers your flowers of love, O flower of lovers? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Bargain by Henry Van Dyke. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. What shall I give for thee, thou pearl of greatest price? For all the treasures I possess would not suffice. I give my store of gold, but it is but earthly dross. But thou wilt make me rich, beyond all fear of loss. Mine honours I resign. They are but small at best. Thou like a royal star wilt shine upon my breast. My worldly joys I give, the flowers with which I played. Thy beauty, far more heavenly fair, shall never fade. Dear Lord, is that enough? Nay, not a thousandth part. Well then, I have but one thing more. Take thou my heart. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Beautiful Not Lasting by Richard Crashaw. Read for LibriVox.org by Public Domain Scholar. Alas, how brief and grudged our spring! Ah, flowery days, how vanishing! E'en so ye hasten on and on, with an unceasing motion, and thou, sweet beauty, brightly flashing, but all too soon, thy fairness dashing, to depths of lowest night must go, ah, losing there thy hasty glow, darkening mists around thee clinging, and thy loveliness swift winging, a love that brightens to deceive, a dream shadow, fugitive. Ye therefore, o'er whom life's young day shineth still with golden ray, sees fate's harsh distaff makes appeal, and hoary time's quick whirling wheel, as round and round the circle spins, and to the furthest distance wins, sees ye the gliding seasons fleet, and dews of vernal phosphor sweet, and new-blown flowers brightness meet. Oh, what to tender loves ye owe! Waste not on chaos dark below, where pallid ghosts dim gleaming go, though beauty on thy starry cheeks, where snow's white pureness ever breaks, and where gazing we see born roses fresh without all thorn, buds intertwining undefiled, spotless as e'er a grace-born child, though thou with everlasting faith fosterest with thy nectared breath myriad loves, and dost them feed with honeyed feast of heavenly mead, in gentle draughts, and they roam round in thy realms, and aye are found, surfeiting themselves with play in one amorous holiday, happy in the drenching dew, and seeking ever to renew their torch flames at thy fair eyes, and then wet blunt arrows ecstasies, with sweet juice that in honey lies, and so with their flame relumed, deftly hover, airy plumed, leaving higher still and higher their torches that raise soft desire, menacing the very stars, ye the old heavens, in their ways, although beneath thy high-arched brow sits majesty, nor doth allow to wanton loves such liberty as mocks the ruler of the sky, but in their wild career gives pause, imposing on them love's sweet laws, though thy whole frame in every part sets forth the sky as in a chart, though thy fair face in every look shows heaven in page of living book, to earth reveals the starry skies in the bright glances of thine eyes. Yet alas, on these fair cheeks, where the rose all blushing speaks, there shall come the snow's sad whiteness, and the red heart-breaking brightness, on the human face divine, that as a star doth radiant shine. There shall come the deepening shadow, as clouds across the dampled meadow, on the high state of the brow, tomorrow death may make his blow, and all of nature's bravery gone, and the grave's cavern lie. Alas, the fairest is the fleetest, alas, how short-lived is the sweetest, alas, the richest is the rarest, alas, that death doth spoil the fairest. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Beethoven in Central Park by Alfred Noyes. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. After a glimpse of a certain monument in New York during the Victory celebration, the 1,000-windowed towers were all alight. Throngs of all nations filled that glittering way, and rich with dreams of the approaching day, flags of all nations trampled down the night. No clouds at sunset die in airs as bright. No clouds at dawn awake in winds as gay. For freedom rose in that august array, crowned with the stars and weaponed for the right. Then in a place of whispering leaves and gloom, I saw, too dark, too dumb for bronze or stone, one tragic head that bowed against the sky. Oh, in a hush too deep for any tomb, I saw Beethoven, dreadfully alone, with his own grief and his own majesty. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Bird Song by Laura E. Richards. Read for LibriVox.org by mleigh. The robin sings of willow buds, of snowflakes on the green. The bluebird sings of Mayflowers, the crackling leaves between. The veery has 1,000 tales to tell to girl and boy, but the oriole sings joy, joy, joy. The pewee calls his little mate, sweet Phoebe gone astray. The warbler sings, what fun, to tilt upon the spray. The cuckoo has no song, but clucks like any wooden toy. But the oriole sings joy, joy, joy. The grosbeak sings the rose's birth, and paints her on his breast. The sparrow sings of speckled eggs, soft brooded in the nest. The wood thrush sings of peace, sweet peace, without alloy. But the oriole sings joy, joy, joy. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Blessed Are They by Rossiter Worthington Raymond. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. To us across the ages born comes the deep word the Master said. Blessed are they that mourn, they shall be comforted. Strange mystery! It is better then to weep and yearn and vainly call till peace is won from pain, than not to grieve at all. Yea, truly, though joy's note be sweet, life does not thrill to joy alone. The harp is incomplete that has no deeper tone. Unclouded sunshine overmuch falls vainly on the barren plain, but fruitful is the touch of sunshine after rain. Who only scans the heavens by day, their story but half reads and mars. Let him learn how to say, the night is full of stars. We seek to know Thee more and more, dear Lord, and count our sorrows blessed, since sorrow is the door whereby Thou enterest. Nor can our hearts so closely come to Thine in any other place, as where with anguish dumb we faint in Thine embrace. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Caves by John Frederick Freeman. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Like the tide, knocking at the hollowed cliff and running into each green cave, as if in the cave's night to keep eternal motion grave and deep, that even while each broken wave repeats its answered knocking, and with bruised hand beats again, 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 tossed between ecstasy and pain, still in the folded hollow darkness swells, sinks, swells, and every green-hung hollow fills, till there's no room for sound, save that old anger rolled around. So into every hollow cliff of life, into this heart's deep cave, so loud with strife, in tunnels I knew not, in lightless labyrinths of thought, the unresting tide has run, and the dark filled, even the vibration of old strife is stilled. The wave, returning, bears muted those time-breathing airs. How shall the million-footed tide still tread these hollows, and in each cold void cave spread? How shall love here keep eternal motion grave and deep? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Deep Sea Cables by Rudyard Kipling. Read for LibriVox.org by Ian King. The wrecks dissolve above us. Their dust drops down from afar, down to the dark, to the utter dark, where the blind white sea snakes are. There is no sound, no echo of sound, in the deserts of the deep, or the great grey level plains of ooze, where the shell-bird cables creep. Here, in the womb of the world, here, on the tie-ribs of earth, words, and the words of men, flicker and flutter and beat, warning, sorrow and gain, salutation and mirth. For a power troubles the still, that has neither voice nor feet. They have wakened the timeless things, they have killed their father time, joining hands in the gloom, a league from the last of the sun. Hush, men talk today o'er the waste of the ultimate slime, and a new word runs between, whispering, let us be one. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Four-Leaf Clover by Ella Higginson. Read for LibriVox.org by mleigh. I know a place where the sun is like gold, and the cherry blossoms burst with snow, and down underneath is the loveliest nook where the four-leaf clovers grow. One leaf is for hope, and one is for faith, and one is for love, you know, and God put another in for luck. If you search, you will find where they grow. But you must have hope, and you must have faith. You must love and be strong, and so, if you work, if you wait, you will find the place where the four-leaf clovers grow. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Frail Hepatica by June Fujita. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston, Tharp. A frail hepatica shyly holds its fragrance beneath the fresh morning dew. So, Elizabeth. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In Summertime by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Read for LibriVox.org by Ian King. When summertime has come, and all the world is in the magic thrall of perfumed airs that lull each sense to fits of drowsy indolence, when skies are deepest blue above, and flowers are flush, then most I love to start while early dews are damp, and wend my way in woodland tramp, where forests rustle tree on tree, and sing their silent songs to me, where pathways meet and pathways part, to walk with nature heart by heart, till wearied out at last I lie, where some sweet stream steals singing by a mossy bank, where violets vie in colour with the summer sky. Or take my rod and line and hook, and wander to some darkling brook, where all day long the willows dream, and idly droop to kiss the stream, and there to loll from morn till night, unheeding nibble, run, or bite, just for the joy of being there, and drinking in the summer air, the summer sounds and summer sights that set a restless mind to rights, when grief and pain and raging doubt of men and creeds have worn it out, the bird's song, and the water's drone, the humming bee's low monotone, the murmur of the passing breeze, and all the sounds akin to these, that make a man in summertime feel only fit for rest and rhyme. Joy springs all radiant in my breast, though pauper poor, than king more blessed. The tide beats in my soul so strong that happiness breaks forth in song, and rings aloud the welkin blue with all the songs I ever knew. O time of rapture, time of song, how swiftly glide thy days along, adown the current of the years, above the rocks of grief and tears. 'Tis wealth enough of joy for me in summertime to simply be. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In the Wings by Bliss Carman. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. The play is life, and this round earth the narrow stage whereon we act before an audience of actors dead and gone. There is a figure in the wings that never goes away, and though I cannot see his face, I shudder while I play. His shadow looms behind me here, or capers at my side, and when I mouth my lines in dread, those scornful lips deride. Sometimes a hooting laugh breaks out and startles me alone, while all my fellows, wondering at my stage fright, play on. I fear that when my exit comes, I shall encounter there, stronger than fate or time or love, and sterner than despair, the final critic of the craft, as stage tradition tells. And yet perhaps 'twill only be the jester with his bells.
End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Invocation by Edmund Clarence Stedman. Read for LibriVox.org by Jaelee. Thou, whose enduring hand once laid and soothed upon thy follower no want henceforth, nor toil, nor joy, nor pain, nor waste of years, filled with all cares that deaden and subdue, can make thee less to him, can make thee less than sovereign queen, his first liege and his last, remembered to the unconscious dying hour. Return and be thou kind, bright spirit of song, thou whom I yet loved most of all, even when I left thee, I, now so long strayed from thy beholding, and renew thy gift to me, fain clinging to thy robe. Still, be thou kind, for still thou wast most dear. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Love's Blindness by Alfred Austin. Read for LibriVox.org by Algy. Now do I know that love is blind, for I can see no beauty on this beauteous earth, no life, no light, no hopefulness, no mirth, pleasure nor purpose when thou art not nigh. Thy absence exiles sunshine from the sky, sears spring's maturity, checks summer's birth, leaves linnet's pipe as sad as plover's cry, and makes me in abundance find but dearth. But when thy feet flutter the dark, and thou with orient eyes dawnest on my distress, Suddenly sings a bird on every bough. The heavens expand, the earth grows less and less. The ground is buoyant as the ether now, and all looks lovely in thy loveliness. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Love's Wisdom by Alfred Austin. Read for LibriVox.org by Algy Pug. Now on the summit of love's topmost peak kiss we, and part. No further can we go, and better death than we from high to low should dwindle or decline from strong to weak. We have found all, there is no more to seek. All have we proved, no more is there to know, and time could only tutor us to eke out rapture's warmth with custom's afterglow. We cannot keep at such a height as this, for even straining souls like ours inhale but once in life so rarefied a bliss. What if we lingered till love's breath should fail? Heaven of my earth, one more celestial kiss, then down by separate pathways to the vale. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Morse's Telegraph by Martin F. Tupper. Read for LibriVox.org by Ian King. A good and generous spirit ruled the hour. Old jealousies were drowned in brotherhood. Philanthropy rejoiced that skill and power. Servants to science, compass all men's good. And over all, religion's banner stood upheld by thee, true patriarch of the plan, which in two hemispheres was schemed to shower mercies from God on universal man. Yes, this electric chain from east to west, more than mere metal, more than mammon can bind us together. Kinsmen, in the best as most affectionate and frankest bond, brethren at one, and, looking far beyond, the world in an electric union blessed. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Never Love Thee More by Unknown. Read for LibriVox.org by stepheather. June 24th, 2023, Bangalore, India. My dear and only love, take heed how thou thyself expose, by letting longing lovers feed upon such looks as those. I'll marble wall thee round about, and build without a door, but if thy heart do once break out, I'll never love thee more. Let not their oaths by volleys shot make any breach at all, nor smoothness of their language plot a way to scale the wall. No balls of wild fire, love, consume the shrine which I adore, but if such smoke about it fume, I'll never love thee more. Then if by fraud or by consent to ruin thou shouldst come, I'll sound no trouble as of wont, nor march by beat of drum, but fold my arms like ensigns up, thy falsehood to deplore, and after such a bitter cup, I'll never love thee more. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Oven Bird by Robert Frost. Read for LibriVox.org by Eddy. June 9, 2023. California, United States. There is a singer everyone has heard, loud, a midsummer and a midwood bird, who makes the solid tree trunks sound again. He says that leaves are old and that for flowers, midsummer is to spring as 1 to 10. He says the early petal fall is past, when pear and cherry bloom went down in showers, on sunny days, a moment overcast. And comes that other fall we name the fall, He says the highway dust is over all. The bird would seize and be as other birds, but that he knows in singing not to sing. The question that he frames in all but words is what to make of a diminished thing. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
O western wind, when wilt thou blow? By Anonymous. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. O western wind, when wilt thou blow? That the small rain down can rain? Christ, that my love were in my arms, and I in my bed again. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Parson's Son by Robert W. Service. Read for LibriVox.org by stepheather. May 24th, 2023, Bangalore, India. This is the song of the parson's son as he squats in his shack alone, on the wild weird nights when the northern lights shoot up from the frozen zone, and it's 60 below, and couched in the snow the hungry huskies moan. I'm one of the Arctic Brotherhood, I'm an old-time pioneer. I came with the first, oh God, how I've cursed this Yukon, but still I'm here. I've sweated athirst in its summer heat, I've frozen and starved in its cold. I've followed my dreams by its 1,000 streams, I've toiled and moiled for its gold. Look at my eyes, been snowblind twice, look where my foot's half gone, and that gruesome scar on my left cheek where the frost fiend bit to the bone, each one a brand of this devil's land where I've played and I've lost the game, a broken wreck with a craze for hooch and never a cent to my name. This mining is only a gamble. The worst is as good as the best. I was in with the bunch, and I might have come out right on top with the rest, with Cormac, Ledoux, and MacDonald. Oh God, but it's hell to think of the thousands and thousands I've squandered on cards and women and drink. In the early days we were just a few, and we hunted and fished around, nor dreamt by our lonely campfires of the wealth that lay under the ground. We traded in skins and whiskey, and I've often slept under the shade of that lone birch tree on Bonanza where the first big find was made. We were just like a great big family, and every man had his squaw, and we lived such a wild, free, fearless life beyond the pale of the law, till sudden there came a whisper, and it maddened us every man, and I got in on Bonanza before the big rush began. Oh, those Dawson days, and the sin and the blaze, and the town all open wide. If God made me in his likeness, sure he let the devil inside. But we all were mad, both the good and the bad, and as for the women, well, no spot on the map in so short a space has hustled more souls to hell. Money was just like dirt there, easy to get and to spend. I was all caked in on a dance hall jade, but she shook me in the end. It put me queer, and for near a year I never drew sober breath, till I found myself in the bughouse ward with a claim staked out on death. 20 years in the Yukon, struggling along its creeks, roaming its giant valleys, scaling its godlike peaks, bathed in its fiery sunsets, fighting its fiendish cold. 20 years in the Yukon, 20 years, and I'm old. Old and weak, but no matter, there's hooch in the bottle still. I'll hitch up the dogs tomorrow and mush down the trail to Bill. It's so long dark and I'm lonesome. I'll just lay down on the bed. Tomorrow I'll go, tomorrow. I guess I'll play on the red. Come, Kit, your pony is saddled. I'm waiting, dear, in the court. Minnie, you devil, I'll kill you if you skip with that flossy sport. How much does it go to the pan, Bill? Play up school and play the game. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. This was the song of the parson's son as he lay in his bunk alone, ere the fire went out and the cold crept in and his blue lips ceased to moan, and the hunger-maddened malamutes had torn him flesh from bone. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Recitative by Hart Crane. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston, Tharp. Regard the capture hero Janus faced, as double as the hands that twist this glass. Such eyes at search or rest you cannot see, reciting pain or glee, how can you bear? Twin-shadowed halves, the breaking second holds in each the skin alone, and so it is I crust a plate of vibrant mercury, born cleft to you and brother in the half. Inquire this much exacting fragment smile, its drums and darkest blowing leaves ignore. Defer, though, revocation of the tears that yield attendance to one crucial sign. Look steadily how the wind feasts and spins the brain's disk shivered against lust. Then watch while darkness like an ape's face falls away, and gradually white buildings answer day. Let the same nameless gulf beleaguer us, alike suspend us from atrocious sums built floor by floor on shafts of steel that grant the plummet heart, like Absalom, no stream. The highest tower, let her ribs palisade wretched gold of Nineveh, yet leave the tower. The bridge swings over salvage beyond wharves, a wind abides the ensign of your will. In alternating bells, have you not heard all hours clap dense into a single stride? Forgive me for an echo of these things, and let us walk through time with equal pride. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Read for LibriVox.org by Eddy. June 10, 2023. California, United States. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sonnet 56 by William Shakespeare. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston, Tharp. Sweet love, renew thy force. Be it not said thy edge should blunter be than appetite, which but today by feeding is allayed, tomorrow sharpened in its former might. So love be thou, although today thou fill thy hungry eyes, even till they wink with fullness, tomorrow see again, and do not kill the spirit of love with a perpetual dullness. Let this sad interim like the ocean be, which parts the shore, where two contracted new come daily to the banks, that when they see return of love, more blessed may be the view. Or call it winter, which being full of care, makes summer's welcome thrice more wished, more rare. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Summer Ramble by William Cullen Bryant. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. The quiet August noon has come. A slumberous silence fills the sky. The fields are still, the woods are dumb, in glassy sleep the waters lie. And mark yon soft white clouds that rest above our vale, a moveless throng. The cattle on the mountain's breast enjoy the grateful shadow long. Oh, how unlike those merry hours in early June, when earth laughs out, when the fresh winds make love to flowers, and woodlands sing and waters shout. When in the grass sweet voices talk, and strains of tiny music swell from every moss cup of the rock, from every nameless blossom's bell. But now a joy too deep for sound, a peace no other season knows, hushes the heavens and wraps the ground, the blessing of supreme repose. Away! I will not be, to-day, the only slave of toil and care. Away from desk and dust, away! I'll be as idle as the air. Beneath the open sky abroad, among the plants and breathing things, the sinless, peaceful works of God, I'll share the calm the season brings. Come thou, in whose soft eyes I see the gentle meanings of thy heart, one day amid the woods with me, from men and all their cares apart. And where upon the meadow's breast the shadow of the thicket lies, the blue wild flowers thou gatherest shall glow yet deeper near thine eyes. Come, and when mid the calm profound I turn those gentle eyes to seek, they like the lovely landscape round of innocence and peace shall speak. Rest here beneath the unmoving shade, and on the silent valleys gaze, winding and widening till they fade in yon soft ring of summer haze. The village trees their summits rear, still as its spire, and yonder flock at rest in those calm fields appear as chiselled from the lifeless rock. One tranquil mount the scene o'erlooks, there the hushed winds their Sabbath keep, while a near hum from bees and brooks comes faintly like the breath of sleep. Well may the gazer deem that when worn with the struggle and the strife, and heart sick at the wrongs of men, the good forsakes the scene of life. Like this deep quiet that a while lingers the lovely landscape o'er, shall be the peace whose holy smile welcomes him to a happier shore. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Three Pairs and One by Petrus Augustus de Grinstedt. Translated by George MacDonald. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. You have 2 ears, and but 1 mouth. Let this, friend, be a token. Much should be heard, and not so much be spoken. You have 2 eyes, and but 1 mouth. That is an indication. Much must you see, but a little serves relation. You have 2 hands, and but 1 mouth. Receive the hint you meet with. For labour 2, but only 1 to eat with. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Twas the Night Before Christmas, A Visit from St. Nicholas, by Clement Clark Moore. Read for LibriVox.org by Nathan Rabe. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced through their heads. And Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave a lustre of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted, and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all, as leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes how they twinkled, his dimples how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry, his droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Twilight at Sea by Amelia C. Welby. Read for LibriVox.org by mleigh. The twilight hours, like birds, flew by, as lightly and as free. 10,000 stars were in the sky, 10,000 on the sea. For every wave with dimpled face that leaped upon the air had caught a star in its embrace and held it trembling there. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Unseasonable Snows by Alfred Austin. Read for LibriVox.org by Algy. The leaves have not yet gone. Then why do ye come, O white flakes falling from a dusky cloud? But yesterday my garden plot was proud with uncut leaves of ripe chrysanthemum. Some trees the winds have stripped, but look on some 'neath double load of snow and foliage bowed, unnatural winter fashioning a shroud for autumn's burial ere its pulse be numb. Yet nature plays not an inhuman part. In her our own vicissitudes we trace. Do we not cling to our accustomed place, though journeying death have beckoned us to start? And faded smiles oft linger in the face, while grief's first flakes fall silent on the heart. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Victory Dance by Alfred Noyes. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Footnote. This poem is not an attack on one of the most graceful of the arts, but was suggested by one particular method of celebrating the last hour of the world's Calvary. End of footnote. The cymbals crash and the dancers walk, with long silk stockings and arms of chalk, butterfly skirts and white breasts bare, and shadows of dead men watching 'em there. Shadows of dead men stand by the wall, watching the fun of the Victory Ball. They do not reproach, because they know, if they're forgotten, it's better so. Under the dancing feet are the graves, dazzle and motley in long bright waves, brushed by the palm fronds, grapple and whirl, ox-eyed matron and slim white girl. Fat wet bodies go waddling by, girdled with satin, though God knows why, gripped by satyrs in white and black, with a fat wet hand on the fat wet back. See, there is one child fresh from school, learning the ropes as the old hands rule. God, how the dead men chuckle again, as she begs for a dose of the best cocaine. "What did you think we should find," said a shade, "when the last shot echoed and peace was made?" "Christ," laughed the fleshless jaws of his friend, "I thought they'd be praying for worlds to mend, making earth better, or something silly, like whitewashing hell or Piccadilly. They've a sense of humour, these women of ours, these exquisite lilies, these fresh young flowers." "Pish," said a statesman, standing near, "I'm glad they can busy their thoughts elsewhere. We mustn't reproach 'em, they're young, you see." "Ah," said the dead men, "so were we." "Victory, victory! On with the dance! Back to the jungle the new beasts prance! God, how the dead men grin by the wall, watching the fun of the Victory Ball." End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Whiting and the Snail by Lewis Carroll. Read for LibriVox.org by Ike Sherr. From Alice in Wonderland. After Mary Howitt. "Will you walk a little faster?" said a whiting to a snail. "There's a porpoise close behind us, and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance. They are waiting on the shingle. Will you come and join the dance? Will you, won't you? Will you, won't you? Will you join the dance? Will you, won't you? Will you, won't you? Won't you join the dance? You can really have no notion how delightful it will be when they take us up and throw us with the lobsters out to sea." But the snail replied, "Too far, too far," and gave a look askance. Said he thanked the whiting kindly, but he would not join the dance. Would not, could not, would not, could not, would not join the dance. Would not, could not, would not, could not join the dance. "What matters it how far we go?" his scaly friend replied. "There is another shore, you know, upon the other side. The further off from England, and the nearer is to France. Then turn not pale, beloved snail, but come and join the dance. Will you, won't you, will you, won't you? Will you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you? Won't you join the dance?" End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Without and Within by James Russell Lowell. Read for LibriVox.org by Ike Sherr. My coachman, in the moonlight there, looks through the side light of the door. I hear him with his brethren swear as I could do, but only more. Flattening his nose against the pane, he envies me my brilliant lot, breathes on his aching fists in vain, and dooms me to a place more hot. He sees me in to supper go, a silken wonder by my side, bare arms, bare shoulders, and a row of flounces for the door too wide. He thinks how happy is my arm 'neath its white-gloved and jewelled load, and wishes me some dreadful harm, hearing the merry corks explode. Meanwhile, I and lie curse the bore of hunting still the same old coon, and envy him outside the door in golden quiets of the moon. The winter wind is not so cold as the bright smile he sees me win, nor the host's oldest wine so old as our poor gabble sour and thin. I envy him the ungived prance with which his freezing feet he warms, and drag my lady's chains, and dance the galley slave of dreary forms. Oh, could he have my share of din, and I his quiet, past a doubt would still be one man bored within, and just another bored without. Nay, when once paid my mortal fee, some idler on my headstone grim traces the moss-blurred name, will he think me the happier? Or I him? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The World Well Lost by Edmund Clarence Stedman. Read for LibriVox.org by Jaelee. That year? Yes, doubtless I remember still, though why take count of every wind that blows? 'Twas plain, men said, that fortune used me ill. That year, the self-same year I met with Rose. Crops failed, wealth took a flight, house, treasure, land, slipped from my hold. Thus plenty comes and goes. One friend I had, but he, too, loosed his hand. Or was it I? The year I met with Rose. There was a war, I think, some rumor, too, of famine, pestilence, fire, deluge, snows. Things went awry. My rivals straight in view. The robe, spite of all, but I met with Rose. That year my white-faced Alma pined and died. Some trouble vexed her quiet heart, who knows? Not I, who scarcely missed her from my side, or aught else gone. The year I met with Rose. Was there no more? Yes, that year life began, all life before a dream. False joys, light woes, all after life compressed within the span of that one year. The year I met with Rose. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.